It's time to go into the SPP Film Room for Chalk Talk with Coach Andy, Scheel, and Drew. Brought to you by QwikCut Video and Analytics. Store, share, and analyze game film. QwikCut is an affordable video analysis platform to elevate game performance. Get started with a free trial today by visiting QwikCut.com. Now here are Coach Andy, Scheel, and Drew. All right, welcome everybody to the Sportsman Podcast, the SPP Film Room, Chalk Talk with Coach Andy Scheel, the Marine City Mariners. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing well, Drew. Preparing for week 7 of the high school football season. So we are well on our way and heading towards the postseason here soon. And away we go. Another great Lions game this past week. We recorded right going up into kickoff last week, it seemed like, and we were treated to one, weren't we?
Yeah, you aren't kidding. I mean, a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff to talk about, and we're really excited about it. So we're going to jump right into it, Coach, into the SPP Film Room, courtesy of QwikCut Analytics software. It's a great tool, guys. If you're ever interested in learning more, check out their website, QwikCut.com, I believe it is, and lots to learn. It's easy to use. So
lots to like about it. It's a tremendous platform. Still playing around with it and learning it, of course, but they have great customer service, great technical support, and honestly, this is a true competitor to some of the other platforms out there. This is a really, really good product. QwikCut is excellent.
Coach, great segue into this one. We're going to take a look at about 10 plays in this game. Lions won, of course, 34-20. You can check out our game review over here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Sports Peninsula Podcast. Like the video. We'd love to hear it. Your feedback and comments as well. We like those likes. We like those subscriptions because we want to bring you content every week. So take a look at us take a look at our review on YouTube, and we're going to have more of these Chalk Talk sessions every week for each game coming up. But Coach, here's the first play we want to talk about. It's a bit of a blemish. It's first series, Jared Goff's interception, a little bit of a footwork issue here too. Let's talk about it, Coach.
Well, yeah, all that glitters wasn't gold. Some of it was green and gold. So, it was great of a game as it was. It didn't start out that way. We had Jared Goff here, in the first drive of the game, looking on third down. And it looks to me that he gets in between reads here. He sees Sam Laporta, but he throws downfield to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And underneath it sits somebody in coverage here. So it looks as if he almost steps off and throws off his back foot, which he does. But you could almost see that he did not throw it to the receiver he wished he threw it to, and he made the decision late. So I think it was just an errant decision by Jared Goff here, throwing off of his back foot because he confused himself on the throw.
Yeah, I think you're right, Coach. We talked about this pre-show, and it definitely looks like there might have been a last split-second decision made, and he just didn't have his feet set right. And unfortunately, it ended up being a pick for the Packers and really put him in a good spot early in the game, inside the 30.
Stop made it 3-0. Great defensive stop made it 3-0, and the Lions got the ball back.
Yeah, and that was a huge defensive stop. And there wasn't much more to not like in the first half. And here's a play that we did like here, the John Kaminsky sack. I think this was the first sack of the game, but let's take a look at this one, Coach. We got Kaminsky and then Hutchinson both playing on the inside here. Let's take a look at how this develops.
Pressure develops from the inside here as you see Aiden Hutchinson really gain on this offensive guard here and kind of split between the guard and tackle. Now you see Kaminsky kind of hold up and stay inside. You see him just an anchor inside. That's to take away any rush lanes that the quarterback could have. You also see Charles Harris reduce down. Now this isn't your quintessential classic pass rush. Typically, you would have a Charles Harris staying outside for what's called contain. But right now, he reduces down to take away any pass lanes. And now freed up and coming free here is Aiden Hutchinson. And he's able to lasso around and secure Jordan Love inside that pocket. And as it collapses, John Kaminsky's right there to clean it up.
Yeah, I love how Hutchinson's able to get away from an initial blocker, the guard, and then the tackle tries to help support, and he's able to rip through him. But Kaminsky does a great job in pursuit here. Just good stuff. Just good stuff. Relentless pressure, like you said, and you got to love that. That's just a nice play right there. Great. Again, more of that discipline we talk about, right, Coach? That we just it's been absent from the Detroit Lions organization, but that gap discipline, man, it's there, and they're doing a nice job. Nice work.
Definitely some technical purpose here. Definitely some technical purpose. Like I said, it may be unorthodox or just not as conventional as what a lot of people, oftentimes think of, but a lot of technical purpose. You can tell.
Now this next play, here we go. This is another sack here. This is actually Hutchinson, but you can see there's a stunt here, and
Yep.
And let's take a look at how this one develops first.
This is a loop. This is a loop underneath, and you see them. This is really the next level. You're seeing this in college and the pro, where they actually advance and look like they're going to speed rush, and then they run the stunt late. And you're going to see Aleem McNeil do the pushing here and driving. It's actually picked up really well by the Green Bay offensive line. It's really picked up real well. It's a great spot on a stunt. You saw a great loop there, but both those Green Bay offensive linemen actually pick them up pretty well. It's the super glue on Jordan Love's right hand that really aids us here and allows Aiden Hutchinson to get this one-handed sack. He holds on the ball well because we have great coverage down the field. It's a stunt that actually got picked up, but it ended up hitting home anyway.
Just a great effort by the guys right there. Coach, how when you see a play like this, and let's talk about this in a little more detail. But with a play like that, you got to be one hell of an athlete like Aiden Hutchinson to be able to pull that off, right?
Oh yeah, I mean you have to have great length, great range, great strength, great agility, all of those things to be able to hit home on that. That's kind of the difference. There's a lot of individuals that play that are physical and strong and fast, can really, are good athletes out there and can play the game of football, but not everybody can finish. Not everybody finishes like we saw right there. Again, Jordan Love held on to the football too long there. There's just no two doubts about that. But it's a stunt that works. Aleem McNeil gets a nice push there and crosses over into the tackle so that Hutchinson comes underneath. But again, kudos to the Green Bay O-line. They picked it up well. This ball should be thrown away. It's not, and Hutchinson's got another sack, or at least a half sack for his work there.
Yeah, and I give credit to the secondary too. I mean, obviously there was nobody open, at least that Jordan Love saw, and that was kind of the narrative, certainly through the first half and a lot of the fourth quarter, no question. Hey, Coach, got another clip here. The machine just keeps rolling. Here is Sam Laporta gets that deep cross and breaks a tackle here. This is a nice play. Let's take a look at this one.
Yeah, another big play and a big conversion for the Lions. We put Amon-Ra in motion, and we motioned to have him run a post away from motion. So, it's another concept right there, another play concept. As you see him get the inside release there, Goff looking downfield. It's 3rd down and 5. He knows where the sticks are, knows where the ball needs to be thrown. He throws an absolute bullet. That's a beautiful pass. That ball is really, really on the money. That's something that, if you look at that right on, good coverage, can't ask for much better coverage than that other than him being bracketed. Ball's thrown right on the money. Sam Laporta makes a good catch, the catch that he needed to make, and he pulls away for another about 15, 20 yards and gets himself well into Green Bay Packer territory. Great professional throw. We saw a throw that was a little bit more ill-advised and not a good throw from Jared Goff. This one was right on the money and looked like a guy that's been there before. And, kudos to Jared Goff and obviously Sam Laporta for coming up with a catch in the 25-yard gain. 1st down, Detroit Lions.
Yeah, nice block here downfield by Marvin Jones as well. That was a nice play. Good, great throw. Laporta's the only one that's going to catch that ball. That's a perfect throw.
Good observation, Drew. He picks up that block. That's the oldest wide receiver in the game, making a veteran move. He's working hard downfield. Receivers aren't just there to catch balls. They're also out there to block too.
Yeah, and the Lions receiving core definitely does a nice job of that. Here's another opportunity here. This is the first catch by Reynolds, and he had 3 catches, and they were all big. This was a 3rd and 3 conversion, Coach. Let's take a look at this one and see what you like.
I think what we see here is Jared Goff being a maestro of what he knew, how the Green Bay secondary was going to respond to this route combination. I think it's something that he saw a lot in film because he knew exactly where he was going to go. It's 3rd down and 3. And Josh Reynolds is really running a deeper route. Now you see the little stick route here by Amon Ra underneath, and you see kind of on a slant here, you have Sam Laporta, running sort of towards the middle of the field. What you on this stick route here, you have the safety and the corner biting on Amon Ra St. Brown. And I think Jared Goff knew exactly that this was going to happen. I think he knew this is exactly what was going to happen, because you can see that ball's being thrown, really when he sees the reaction here of that safety coming up. And he knows, look at the timing of it. It's just beautiful. It's right on the money, and it's just perfect timing in that window. He stumbles a bit. Josh Reynolds doesn't stumble. That ball's probably down to the 20-yard line. So great pickup. Another veteran read by Jared Goff. Excellent throw and a big play. Third down conversion. Detroit Lions crossing Green Bay into Green Bay territory for yet another score.
Yeah, and one thing, a narrative we've seen throughout pretty much every game, but we're really focusing on in this one in particular. St. Brown caught a touchdown earlier in the game, but we're focusing more on how he sells himself so well on every play. And I can tell you this, as great as Randy Moss always will be, he took, if the ball wasn't coming to him, he several times he just stood on the line of scrimmage. Not this guy. He's always selling the play. Look at the attention he gets. I mean, that made the play. And like you said, that's film study right there, because they knew that would happen. But this is a guy who's quite frankly a top 10 star in this league at the receiver position. He's willing to do anything and everything to help this team win. I think that's important too. But yeah, definitely just a fantastic play.
Definitely how winning's done. Couldn't agree with you more, Drew. Great point.
Coach, this is the first Montgomery touchdown. Let's talk about this one, how this turns out, because it's like the parting of the Red Sea.
Yeah, this is Lions football 101. This is grit right here, and this is a grit play, and this is what the Lions are all about here. You see, you have Laporta kind of in an ace. Both of them are in ace ace alignments here. You have Brock Wright coming in motion from the top. Laporta's down here at the bottom. Both of them are circled. As the play goes here, you see the blocking scheme kind of devise. What you really want to kind of take back, and we can rewind it just a little bit there, Drew. If you look at this, you're going to see, I want you to see just a real quick combination of number 68, Taylor Decker, number 73, Jonah Jackson, a little bit further back before the ball gets snapped, just a little bit more.
Gotcha.
There we go. Take a look at those guys. I know they're not circled, but what you're going to see is Taylor Decker chip his defender right into Jonah Jackson so he can get a great wall down on him. Then you see Decker coming out on the Quay Walker. Everything's covered. Numbers are on numbers. Everyone's got a hat on a hat. Numbers are right in the Lions' favor. Everybody's blocked. Huge seam to what would be a C gap. This is a power play. It's a power to the left. Mm-hmm. It's also Detroit Lions touchdown. Like I said, that's Detroit Lions football 101, being able to run the power. And this is the power right here.
I love that chip.
Being the kick out.
When you talk about that chip block by Decker, right there.
Just enough. He gets a paw on him, and now he's off to Quay Walker. It's a combination block. It's, some people call it double and bouncing. He chipped him, and he moved up to the second level and got Quay Walker in this case. It's a form of double teaming. It's combo blocking.
Yeah, and like you said, it's Lions football, and it's not as razzle dazzle. Although Ben Johnson certainly has that in his playbook, but a lot of it's meat and potatoes, winning in the trenches, and I think fans will take that all day long because the W's keep coming.
Absolutely, but you got to be able to run power. You got to be able to run the football. That's just never going to change. You've got to be able to play defense. You got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to play special teams competently if you're going to win in this league. In the NFL, college, high school, junior football, whatever it is.
Let's take a look at the next play. This is the Khalif Raymond reverse, and let's take a look at how this one develops, Coach.
Great play concept. Offensive line steps right. Then you have the two linemen pulling to the left. I believe we have both guards in this case. That's Graham Glasgow and Jonah Jackson. They're coming. It looks like they're going to be Jay blocking here or out on a sweep for Jahmyr Gibbs, and that's how it starts. But Gibbs quickly, we have the reverse action by Khalif Raymond. Now, here's what's impressive. Jared Goff, the quarterback, getting in the way of a linebacker and really doing a nice job of staying in the way, shadowing, so Khalif Raymond can turn his shoulders parallel. Let's look at both of our offensive tackles downfield, well downfield. Penei Sewell is way downfield, and he's out here leading for Khalif Raymond. And you'll see both of these guys get in the way of blockers as Raymond keeps going. And, Penei Sewell gets a nice little launch here on number 29, Douglas of the Packers. And that allows Khalif Raymond to bounce it outside for probably another 10, 12 yards. Great pickup, great play concept, great effort and execution by the Detroit Lion offense.
You make the point of Sewell, how far out he is. Look at this. The first down markers here, he's another 6 yards ahead. I mean, that
shows what kind of range he has as a blocker. Yeah. I mean, that guy can really move his feet, and super impressive. He's out in front of everybody.
Thing of beauty, absolute thing of beauty, right there. This was the third quarter. Obviously, Green Bay gave them they hit him in the mouth. They came out with their best shot, and you would expect that. And I think the Lions were a little bit on their heels coming off of a huge first half. Thankfully, they were able to right the ship in the fourth quarter, and this is one of the plays that kind of started turning things back in their favor, so to speak, in terms of momentum. Now let's look at another play here, but this is actually the first touchdown that the Packers get, and this is Jordan Love, and this is a nice execution by the Packers. But I know we see a coverage issue in this one. We'll let it play out, Coach.
Yeah, well, it appears that they were in man coverage. There's a little bit of a miscommunication here because really it's a pick play. If in many ways that's exactly what we're seeing here. You're seeing Christian Watson really kind of dart towards that pylon. I think that's his aiming point, is that pylon right there. You're seeing a slant under, over the top of that. Really, it is a form of a pick play. But Melanfon was in no man's land. You can see that either Jerry Jacobs stuck on the wrong route, and Melanfon should have been picking up the slant, and Jerry Jacobs should have been picking up Christian Watson coming across, or somehow Melanfon was supposed to get over the top of the slant and meet Christian Watson. I'm guessing Jacobs probably got crossed up there. Christian Watson, touchdown, Green Bay Packers. The Cheeseheads had life at that point in time, Drew.
Yeah, and then you can see even the play fake was able to draw in both Barnes and I believe Anzalone on that play, and
which they're going to be run first guys. Unfortunately, they didn't throw, and that would have been something if they would have thrown over the behind those guys. That's exactly what they would have done. But he was rerouted so well, you can see that the tight end's losing his feet. This play concept was meant to go to exactly who it was, either the slant to Dobbs or the arrow to Christian Watson, which is what caught the touchdown.
Yeah, you got it, Coach. And yeah, I agree with you. It was one or the other. Either Jacobs was supposed to stay on that side and pick up the outside receiver, or Melanfon was supposed to follow his man. And either way, touchdown Green Bay. But now let's look at this next play, Coach. This is the 2-point conversion failure that would have made this a 10-point game, I believe. But John Kaminsky comes up big, and let's let this play out, Coach, and tell us what you see.
Well, we're going to see here. We're going to see option right here. It's kind of sprint option. Jordan Love and Aaron Jones. We see outside and kind of aligned as an outside linebacker. On the edge is Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell's going to take pitch here. He's going to go towards Aaron Jones. It doesn't appear that the Lions have a defender on the quarterback, but we see underneath steering across his block. Pressing and steering across his block is number 79, John Kaminsky. He is out here working. He's got to get off this block to be able to make this play. He does right here out at the 1-yard line and stones the quarterback from Utah State down inside the goal line. No 2-point conversion, Green Bay, which was big, which was real big at that point in time.
Huge play. And Coach, you said this is something you guys work on a lot too, right?
Yeah, it's a technique called steer the car. It's something that Gary Moeller taught Coach Scarselli at the University of Michigan, former Detroit Lion head coach Gary Moeller. And Coach Scarselli, taught it. It was one of the staple, the staple block destruction and block recognition. Defensive ends can't get hooked. That's what the old terminology is, getting hooked, or and more in the newer vocabulary is reach block. And you basically got to run your feet and pin that shoulder, pin and pull, or press and pull, and steer that car like it doesn't have power steering fluid in it, and get yourself across that late as you're punching upfield and steering across, so that you can become a defender and make that play.
No, that's fantastic, Coach.
And John Kaminsky did it. That was a brilliant rep of it. It was great.
You love that description. Yeah, I guess when you're facing a 300-plus pounder in front of you, it's going to be like steering a car with no power steering. It's not easy.
There's going to be some resistance.
A little bit. We got one more play we want to go over, one more clip here, and this is really this was in the fourth quarter when the Lions were really trying to eat away the rest of the clock. They were up. Well, really, they were looking for their last score. I think they were up still 27-17 at this point. And that 2-point conversion would have made it an 8-point game, which, of course, is really a one-score game. So that failed. But this play to David Montgomery is just – Montgomery at this point has already got a couple touchdowns. So obviously they're concerned about him. Let's take a look at how this unfolds.
Well, the Lions are trying to, hit some coffin nails home here. And here you go. Looks like play action to, it looks like really it's going to be in the run there. Looks like it's going to be a run play to, at first, to David Montgomery. David Montgomery's not typically the guy that they leak out of the backfield. That's Jimmy or Gibbs. But actually we see just that. He leaks underneath.
Yep.
He leaks underneath. It's being kind of picked up now. This is a screen. And, Quay Walker's a little late to pick it up. But, really, you get David Montgomery out in the open right here. This is not how you take on a ball carrier in the open field. He's giving himself up, and that's what Nixon did there. And I know Nixon did, does a lot in the return game. He's a hard worker. This is not going to win you football games. That's a first down lines. It gives Quay Walker, who's a tough, rugged football player, no angle to make a play. All he can do is try to lasso him down. And this keeps David Montgomery in bounds. They pick up the first down. That means the Lions are going to probably have the ball for at least 3 more minutes. And that's a big problem for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, Coach. And I want to go through this one more time real quick here as we watch the play unfold. The attention again, because this was St. Brown again, and I believe that's Laporta as well. And off they go.
They both deepen coverage quite a bit. They sell it hard. It's not just the linemen selling the pass rush upfield. It's these receivers getting vertical and exploding into their routes and their route stem so that, they create some separation underneath for Dave Montgomery. It's a whole play concept. You're absolutely right, Drew. It's the offensive line allowing the rush to come upfield. It's the receivers running tremendous routes, knowing that the ball's not coming to them, but they're going to run off receivers and man coverage. And underneath for David Montgomery and Keon Nixon, I'm sure that was shown in the Green Bay film room as a way that we don't want to take on ball carriers, because that's not any way to tackle. That's giving yourself up and giving the Lions a first down and really essentially allowing them to start hammering home those coffin nails.
Yeah, you're right, because if he would have at least taken him on head on and been looking at what he was doing, quite frankly, and tried to tackle him low, Quay Walker was there to help clean it up. So, and that's something the Lions were always guilty of in the past, and that's not something we see a lot of from the Lions this year. These corners, whether it's Branch, whether it was Gardner Johnson in week 1, he did a masterful job with it, but Branch has been doing a great job of it, just stepping up, getting the edge, and not allowing the running backs to run over him because they're trying to do some half-ass strip of the ball or try to throw their body into him, somehow knock them off their feet. These guys are too tough and too strong. They got a head of steam going. You've got to wrap them up. You got to wrap them up, or it's that's what's going to happen every time. Hey, Coach, great job. Love you. Love talking X's and O's with you. We're going to be doing this all year long. So stick and stay, everybody. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video. We appreciate everybody watching. We appreciate the support. We appreciate QwikCut Analytics for the software. It's a beautiful thing. We love it. It's a nice tool to have and a nice toy to play with for us. We're enjoying it. So for Coach Andy Scheel, the Marine City Mariners, I'm Drew. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next week during that Carolina game. So take care, everyone. Talk to you soon. This has been the Sports Peninsula Podcast. To subscribe to the podcast, simply click the subscribe button on our YouTube channel's homepage and give us a like. You can also follow our audio podcast on multiple platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts, just to name a few. Give us a follow on Twitter. Our handle is @SportsPPodcast to check out our latest releases. Thank you again for watching and for your support. Remember, when you want to hear all about sports in the great state of Michigan, there is only one Sports Peninsula Podcast.